I'm going to show you 2 simple tricks and 1 advanced method to resolve an HDMI issue, but first, avoid this one mistake. If my Fire Stick plugged into HDMI 1 stops working, I can disconnect it and reconnect it to confirm proper contact. What I do not want to do is plug it into HDMI 2, 3, or 4 because the Fire Stick could be broken, and if plugged into the other ports, damage the TV further. The first thing I want to do is test a different device with a different HDMI cable. If the second device also doesn't work, then we confirm the fault is with the TV and neither with the HDMI cable nor the device. The second trick is cleaning. I'll start with a can of compressed air to remove any dust or particles that could be stuck in the HDMI port. Then I'll use a toothbrush with isopropyl alcohol to further clean out the ports. Lastly, I'll be using deoxit to remove potential oxidation and to help improve connections. I'm going to be showing you one more bonus tip for troubleshooting. First, we're going to start by turning the TV off, and then I'm going to be pressing mute 182 power. Once the service menu shows up, we'll go ahead and go to options, press OK, factory reset, OK, OK one more time, and wait for it to turn off. Once it turns off, we can power it back on and just run through the initial setup menu. If none of this has been helpful so far, we'll have to move on to the more advanced repair, so let's open up the TV and troubleshoot further. Because the HDMI ports are located on the main board, we could technically just replace the main board, but unfortunately these are out of stock. So we're going to have to do a component level repair and troubleshoot further. Let's bring it to our test bench. This is our HDMI processor chip, which commonly fails and causes the HDMI malfunction we are experiencing. So next, we will be replacing it. So I've been using the bottom preheater at 280 Fahrenheit to preheat the board. I'm adding a little bit of flux. And now we're going to use our hot air to remove the chip. Now this one is set to 350 Celsius for the top. Oh my, and I just knocked a ton of components. Alright, we'll have to revisit some of those components in a minute, but for now let me just remove the excess solder we have here. So there's actually one more capacitor over here on the chip I removed. I believe it goes right here. So I don't know why I'm struggling so much. This is probably some of the worst soldering job I've done on screen since we began the channel, but I'm just gonna fix it all up using a lot of flux and some hot air, and everything should line up properly where it needs to. And before we install our new one, we're going to do a little cleanup with the isopropyl alcohol. Because this board has a bottom ground pad, we're going to use some solder paste. And I've always notoriously put way too much, but we'll try to break that habit today. And I think that should do it. Try and remove some of that excess right there. Okay, I think that looks good. Go ahead and put our replacement down. And for orientation, we have our little dot over here with the triangle indicating pin 1. You know what, that's going to be good enough. Let's go ahead and use hot air. Now that we finished our repairs, let's go ahead and install it back in the TV. Let's plug in our Fire Stick to HDMI 1. And it looks like we're now getting picture, and we're also getting audio. Let us know in the comments down below which one of these tips helped you resolve your HDMI fault. If you liked the content, if you found it helpful or useful, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.